on. We've got Matrix Securities Fund Manager Sudeep Singh with us. Sudeep, thanks for coming along. Now, you are not a fan at the moment of the euro and the way it's been structured.
Well, I mean, the problem is that there's a difference in competitiveness levels between Greece and the southern countries and northern countries. So in the early noughties, what happened was Germany went through a massive restructuring process of their economy, and it was made much more lean and competitive and globally competitive, whereas the southern European countries were benefiting from lower interest rates and a credit boom. And basically what that caused was unit wage costs to go up dramatically in the southern countries and stay quite contained in Germany, which allowed this massive competitiveness boost, which is now coming to light as the debt's not there.
It masked all this, but what you're suggesting is almost what John Major was talking about in the early 1990s, the former British Prime Minister at that point, arguing for a soft currency, a soft ECU, as he called it, and a hard ECU. Now, you're proposing basically the same sort of thing, something going back to the Roman times as well.
Well, yeah, we chose the name sesterce just as a way just to conceptualize the concept, but essentially you could either have maybe the northern countries leave and the euro stay, and then maybe it's called the Thaler, which is the old German currency, or you could see maybe the southern currencies leave until such a time that they get some competitiveness back versus the northern countries.
But so there's no mechanism there for that to happen, though, and that would destroy a lot of political will.
Yeah, I mean, the EU is a political project at the end of the day. So I think the real decisions need to be made are the political decisions of how much pain are people willing to take. And what makes me bearish about the euro is I think the southern countries aren't willing. Well, certainly Greece, I think the political system may not be mature enough to take the amount of pain that's required to bring competitiveness back.
Now, with this near $1 trillion bailout package that they announced earlier this week, people said this actually represents the beginning of real monetary union. Discuss.
Well, I think that's it's potentially the case, but here's the thing. For the southern countries to stay in, certainly Greece to stay into the EU, the amount, I mean, you need to think about Greece being on, and the southern countries being on a gold standard. The EU internally is somewhat of a gold standard. And so to get competitiveness back, what they really need to do is they need to deflate massively. Deflate their local economies massively. And as you can see, I think the pain hasn't even begun to bite in the southern countries, and yet you're seeing riots and deaths and whatnot. And that's the key issue here is there enough political will to put this pressure on their populations so that they can remain in a single currency, or is it not better to say, hey, let's do what Brazil did, let's do what some other countries did, is you basically devalue, run tight fiscal policy, and then maybe at a later time you can kind of reintegrate the EMU again.
Yeah, so you'd have to leave the euro and do all that and then hope you can join again. And would they have you? I mean, that's the thing as well.
Well, I'm not sure the Germans are going to want to pay the bills for that. And, you know, I think the issue with the Germans is, quite rightly, they're quite concerned that their big issue is we've paid the bills, but these guys have been cheating.